Hello and thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Tobago, where we tell you about the plans and initiatives of the Tobago House of Assembly and the impact that these have on you. I'm Colleen Holder, and this week we're coming to you from the Assembly's Legislative Building in Scarborough. In our stories this week, 6 new faces, no minority leader and only 3 councillors. The newly elected members of the THA have taken their oath of office. The people's wish list for their new representatives. And Tobago schools play host to Brazilian students.
On the road, 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 on the road. We control it. On the road, 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 on the road. Show them that we control it. When we on the road, carnival day. We on the road. Nobody can get up bad like way. We on the road. So tell the security, get out the way. Cause when we see that stage in front of we, everybody go. Hands up in the sky now. I want to see you jumping. Raise your rock them high now. We got to keep it pumping. Tell the big man over so. You just can't test me now cause we control the road. We marching up uptown. Downtown. All around. Balance in the air on the left.
Andrea Ogis Walters, AJ's Family Cottage Nursery and the Learning Center. It's a swing set with a slide, and then they have this swing at the side. They want to swing. You know, these children like to go outside. I went through not expecting that I would have been successful. Imagine that they weren't there. I really appreciate it.
Redefining business, protecting Tobago's heritage.
Campaigning is over and the votes counted. So much so that we now know who the people chose as their 12 representatives for the new session of the Tobago House of Assembly, the THA. But this assembly will be like no other. It's devoid of an official opposition, which also means that this is the first time there'll be no councillor appointed on the advice of the minority leader. Sophie Guillaume attended the Assembly's 9th inauguration, and she puts it all into perspective.
I, Orville London, having been elected an assemblyman for Tobago, do swear by Almighty God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago, will uphold the Constitution and the law, and will conscientiously and impartially discharge the duties and responsibilities of assemblyman that I am now about to assume.
Over London, 11 other assemblymen and 3 councillors are the members of the new Tobago House of Assembly. 5 of them have been here before, at least one of them in a different capacity. Huey Cadet served as councillor during the last term, but the other 6 are new faces. But this new term of the Assembly will be historic for other reasons as well. The outcome of the THA elections has effectively left the Assembly without any opposition.
I declare the office of Minority Leader of the Tobago House of Assembly vacant.
This has also affected the number of councillors that will serve. They have been reduced from 4 to 3. Traditionally, the 4th councillor is appointed on the advice of the minority leader. But in the absence of the minority leader in this assembly, this post is now eliminated. The 3 appointed councillors are Gary Melville, who held this position during the life of the last assembly. He will be joined by Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus and Dean Isaac, both first-timers. Mr. Isaac's role will be twofold. He will also serve as the Deputy Presiding Officer, while Kelvin Charles replaces Anne Mitchell Giff as Presiding Officer. Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
That was the big picture. But let's dig a bit deeper to tell you why Mr. London's election to the post of Chief Secretary for the 4th time isn't just another formality. As Davia Chambers tells us, Mr. London and some of his colleagues created history of their own when they took the oath of office.
I now declare the Honourable Orville London duly elected by acclamation Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
This has never happened before. No one has done what this Chief Secretary has pulled off. Having held this position for more than a decade, today he returns for a fourth consecutive term as Tobago's Chief Secretary. For Mr. London, it's an honor, but he knows it can also become a burden because expectations of him are high.
I recognize that, the next 4 years are not going to be easy. I think the expectation among the people of Tobago is high. And I think one knows that if expectations are high, the chances of disappointment and maybe resentment will also be high. So we've got to move very carefully.
Mr. London knows his work and legacy will also be judged by the performance of the other members of his team. He says he has mandated them to hold meetings with their constituents at least once a month.
And that is official sessions, and of course have sessions where the public could meet with them at least once a week. And we are now contemplating, I haven't crystallized it yet, but we are contemplating a process whereby we can have monthly sessions in each of the electoral districts, whether it is we're going to be discussing things in general or discuss a particular topic.
But he's made other changes as well. This time he has chosen a young female deputy, Tracy Davidson Celestine. Some say it's a move that will bolster women and youth in Tobago. Mrs. Davidson Celestine is not new to public life, but this is the first time she will serve as the Deputy Chief Secretary. She's also the youngest Deputy Chief Secretary to date.
Well, I am very humbled. I am also very excited. And I really want to thank the Chief Secretary and all the members of the team for giving me the opportunity to serve them as the Deputy Chief Secretary. I have always strived to do my best, and in this position I will continue to strive to do my best to represent the people of Tobago.
Another big change in this new term of the Assembly is the election of Kelvin Charles to position of presiding officer. He takes over from Anne Mitchell Gift, who served the Assembly since 2001. Reporting for the Department of Information, I'm Davia Chambers.
So you now know who the key players are and why the 9th inauguration will be remembered as historic. It's now time to explain the role of the Assembly and how it impacts the lives of Tobagonians. Omar Mills sat down with political commentator and activist Dr. Vanis James to revisit the power and functions of the THA.
The governing body for Tobago was first set up in 1768. But the Tobago House of Assembly as we know it today was created by Act 37 of 1980. That act speaks to making better provisions for the administration of the island of Tobago. But that act was replaced by Act number 40, which simply put signaled the transfer of some power and responsibilities from central government in Trinidad to the THA in Tobago.
What we have here is an attempt at what the people of Trinidad and Tobago like to call devolution, where you have a Tobago House of Assembly that is set up to govern Tobago as part of the central government mechanism, but governing Tobago on matters that we describe in what we call the 5th schedule of the Tobago House of Assembly Act, 96.
Dr. James says the Act also allows the THA to advise the government on how to create national policies as it relates to Tobago.
There are some things that are on what we call the 6th and the 7th schedules. These are things that the central government does for us, and there are some things that they would do under the advisement and so on of the THA. The public authorities like the Airports Authority and so on would have to execute House of Assembly policy, but they are devices for the nation.
The Act also assigns to the THA responsibility for a number of areas, including but not limited to finance, state lands and tourism. Dr. James says the current THA Act requires the Chief Secretary and the Prime Minister to have regular meetings to discuss matters of importance to Tobago's development.
They ought to meet for the harmonious governance of the country and sort out all of these sticky and edgy problems so that the nation can stay together and Tobago can get its fair share of the benefits of our natural resources.
Dr. James says the next step for the THA is the setting up of community development authorities and the upgrade of the current village councils so that Tobagonians can have a greater voice in the island's development. I am Umudara Mills for the Department of Information.
My name is Roger Sampson. The business that I'm into is plumbing. Someone told me about it. I applied, I got through. Jobs was coming on the market for me. I needed additional tools to make the job more effective. It's not only about finance, it's about helping you to manage your company. I just want to say thanks to the business development program, all the persons that put this program in place. This is one of a million.
Redefining business. Protecting Tobago's heritage.
Welcome back. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. The formalities are over and it's time to get down to the business of governance. But even before the first plenary, some political commentators are suggesting that this new assembly will have a different tone. Why? Well, mostly because there's new blood and hopefully new perspective. Davia Chambers spoke to some of our first-time assemblymen to find out what they hope to bring to their new roles.
A first for Jomo Pitt. He is one of 6 assemblymen who took the oath of office for the first time. But he's not alone. Hayden Spencer, Joel Jack, Handel Beckles, Sheldon Cunningham and Ansel Dennis had never done this before. Even Huey Cadet is sort of new to this. Well, not entirely. He was a councillor during the last term, but this is the first time he will sit as an assemblyman. Regardless, many view these fresh new faces as a symbol of creativity, innovation and vigour, qualities they hope will transform the new term of the Assembly. Expectations are high and Area Representative for Canaan Bonaccord is all too aware of this.
I think one of the first things that I need to do is ensure that I get involved in the community even more. As I've done before, but even more now as the area representative, so that you get a real sense from the persons in the community what are the issues that affect them. I think we have a basic idea what those issues are, but I think there's an opportunity that we consistently do that.
Described as the David who slayed Goliath, Representative for Providence, Mason Hall Moriah, Sheldon Cunningham, says the important aspect of this job is serving the people.
It is a moment that I had no feelings, honestly, and I do hope that in doing, it's not just about defeating him, but it's more or less, how do you serve the people? And I feel the people wanted someone to really be there and serve them better, and I'm happy to be chosen to do that, and I'm going to do my best working with the people to achieve the optimum benefit that will bring real great gifts to the people of Providence, Mason Hall, Moriah. And we can do things together. It's not me planning for them, but planning with them to enhance the way of living in the area.
Joel Jack is hoping to make a difference for young people, specifically in the area of Bacalet, Mount St. George.
I'm first going to treat with the issue of unemployment, especially among young people. We want to also empower the young adults and the youth in the area. We want to also bring the classroom closer to the community via the community centers. We have a relatively new community center in John Dial, a refurbished community center in Hope, and Mount St. George. And we want to use these centers as centers of innovation and learning to really improve their life skills so that we make the young people in the area who are unemployed employable.
What can you expect from Handel Beckles, the representative for Bethel Mount Irvin? He says he will stick to his word.
A religious man, they respect me as a spiritual leader. They have seen me as one who would stand to my word, and so I think that's what they'll be expecting, that whatever I would say I would attempt, that I will attempt that. The plans that I have as my own manifesto comes from the people. During our campaigning, we would have shared some of those. Just to mention a few, we want to look at housing. We've asked, quite a few of the people of our district have asked about our housing.
Bellegarde Goodwood's representative Hayden Spencer says he will closely work with the people of not just Bellegarde Goodwood, but all of Tobago.
My views expressed will be the views of the people. Right? I will work in collaboration with all the stakeholders in the different areas. I'm the same person that you can approach anytime. Share your problem, share your issue with me. I'll be able to sit and talk with you.
And the youngest one in the group, Ansel Dennis, says he is not worried about being too young for the job. In fact, he thinks his youth is a great asset because it allows him to be innovative.
Well, I think I can do a lot different in terms of innovative ideas and in terms of my youth and vibrance. I think that would be something new to the Assembly, and I look forward to serving the people of Tobago. Right, my main priority will be to create programs and implement programs that would utilize the many facilities that the PNM would have delivered over the last 4 years.
Only time will tell if these new assemblymen will live up to their word, but Tobago will get its first chance to see them in action when Assembly sits for the first time. Reporting for the Department of Information, I'm Davia Chambers.
Now, their best plans will mean nothing if the problems of Tobagonians are not addressed. Many say they're anxious for change. They want to see real results to the issues they face. Here's what they told Omadara Mills.
Over London.
These formalities are over, and it's now time to get down to the business of the island. Tobagonians are anxious to hear what new plans will be implemented. But even as they wait on the agenda of our newly appointed secretaries, the people have come up with their own wish list. Leon Penny thinks the Tobago House of Assembly should create more opportunities for young Tobagonians in areas such as sport, education, technical skills and small business development.
Because the youths out here are very talented. They have the brains, they have the ability to do this stuff. They just need the chance. So it's time the older ones give them another chance.
Retired citizen Willis Kirk wants long-term employment for young people. He believes job security will help to lift the standard of living for Tobagonians.
Nobody can live off of that. Yeah, you can't go to the bank with a CPEP, tell at the bank you work in CPEP, you want to buy a car, you want to build a house, you can't go and tell them you work in CPEP. So sustainable job, these people could really improve their livelihood.
Jerome Henry, a taxi driver from Mason Hall, hopes the new administration finishes the work on his community's recreational ground.
We're having a new football field renovation, and that's good. We're having new lights, and we have a nice football ground. I haven't finished it yet, and it's looking so perfect. So, yeah, let's see when it's finished, how it's going to look.
Market vendor Jennifer Noel chose a project that affects her directly. She says the market center in Scarborough needs improvement.
They could renovate here by moving these booths as they had in mind, doing the area here, the one straight structure, and divide it. We on this side have our own booth here. Those, you move all these things around as they had it planned out.
But another market vendor, Gemma Dennis, is suggesting that a wholesale agricultural center be established on the island so Tobagonians can move towards greater food security.
I believe that they should have a wholesale place, especially for market vendors, where we can go and buy wholesale, and we may not have to go to Trinidad for a lot of the local produces that is best over here and needed by the people.
According to one small business owner, Errol Gibbs, more attention should be placed on developing the entrepreneurial sector in Tobago.
At least try to assist the small businessman in any ways they can. Offer opportunities to make your business a better thing in the Scarborough area. Not only in Scarborough area, but at least put out opportunity for youths who need or would like to get into business and getting the assistance. They'll try their best to reach them.
These Tobagonians clearly know what they want from their newly elected officials. And as the curtain opens on a new assembly and executive, it's hoped these areas will be addressed. I am Omadara Mills for the Department of Information.
We've introduced you to the new faces and told you what makes this new assembly unique. But there's more happening amidst all these changes. A number of former secretaries have stepped away. Whitney Alfred, Dr. Anselm London and Oswald Williams are saying farewell to public office. Sophie Guillaume sat down with Dr. London and Mr. Williams, who shared some of their accomplishments and offered useful advice to their successors.
Oswald Williams' service to the Tobago House of Assembly spanned 3 varied divisions and included a portfolio that ranged from transportation and enterprise development to health and social services. As he says goodbye to this aspect of public life, he's reflecting on the time he spent at what was then known as the Division of Development and Settlements.
It is during that period that the actual construction of the houses in Tobago started, and so I was very happy to be part of that process.
When the Assembly dissolved in 2012, Mr. Williams held the position of the Secretary of Tourism and Transportation, a portfolio which deals in part with the main drive of economic activity in Tobago. Today, this is how he sums up the pressure of having that responsibility.
So we've been doing a number of things to ensure that we improve the product that we have to offer, we improve accessibility to Tobago, that we improve the visibility of Tobago abroad. We've been doing a whole lot to ensure that. And therefore, I feel it's basically a matter of time now before we begin to see the results of those efforts.
Dr. Anselm London has spent more than a decade as the Secretary of Finance and Enterprise. To be more accurate, he served a total of 12 years in this division, a long time by any account. He says his tenure has produced many proud moments.
Well, you know about the Cove Industrial Estate where I was involved in. We have a YES program here, the Enterprise Assistance Fund program, the Medical Alert program, 211 at Signal Hill. The Tobago House of Assembly is probably the only institution today that has a fixed asset register. And I'm very proud to say that the Moody's rating that we got, the BAA1 rating, is very good for Tobago. It opens up opportunities for Tobago.
But while they were instrumental in many of the island's development thrusts, their jobs were not without challenges. The former finance secretary says he fought hard to instill financial discipline.
I got a rule instituted here that once a bill comes in and everything is in order, the person must get paid in 10 working days. If that could happen in Tobago, we try within 10 working days, then that would be a great achievement.
Mr. Williams' challenge was getting Tobago on that must-see list of places to visit.
One of the things that happened not too long before I came in is that the Hilton Hotel, which is the largest hotel on the island, closed. That would have sent a signal to the international community that, look, these people they don't appear to be serious about tourism. And therefore we had some challenge getting a number of the big international tour operators and travel agents to deal with us as a destination.
Both men said they did it for love of the job, and as they say their goodbyes, they're giving their replacement some advice.
Come expecting a challenge, but expect that you're going to reach here resources in the form of the administration and the technical staff and even the clerical staff of the division.
This job requires a lot of listening, and you're going to have to spend a lot of time reading. You have to read the documents, seek advice and opinion.
It's unsolicited advice, but it's also what some might view as a good guide to a new job. Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
You can now send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Please see the bottom of your screen for more contact details. We're taking a break, but when we return, what Tobago students have in common with their Brazilian counterparts.
Scarborough. My husband and I operate Uncle's Tire Shop. It's a very expensive machine, and I would see into them. I was called in. Now, this piece of machine is a machine that it takes off truck tires. It used to be manual work before. Listen, go there to the BDU and you will get finance. It's either they will, buy your equipment or give you the money to say, well, start your business, which is very good.
Redefining business, protecting Tobago's heritage.
Welcome back. This is Let's Talk Tobago. Carnival and beautiful beaches, all characteristics of both Trinidad and Tobago and Brazil. But these countries have a lot more in common, as a number of our students found out when they collaborated with 23 students from Brazil. Davia Chambers has that report.
The aim of the exchange is to foster interaction between Tobagonian and Brazilian students. According to the national coordinator of the Associated Schools Project, Monica Regisford-Duglin, the students shared their cultural experiences and their thoughts on how climate change is affecting their countries.
You know that Brazil is a huge country, and they experience a lot of the erosion and whatever has to do with climate change. And so that's why they're interested, and they want to see what is happening in our country as well.
The coordinator of schools supervision, Dr. Verlene Bob Lewis, says it is important to create these links. She believes Tobago can ultimately benefit from this kind of interaction.
In terms of your economy, you have a very strong economy among the top economies of the world now, and we know that you would have some of those experiences to share with us as well. We know your industry, your science and technology, and I hope with the students who would be interacting with you over the next few days, you see, I'm hoping it's years, few days, that you could share some of that with us.
We also spoke with 2 Brazilian students and a teacher, Simone Santos, to find out how they are enjoying their trip to Tobago.
It's the first time that I'm here, but I pretend to come more times because it's a wonderful city. There is beautiful beaches, and in Brazil there's too, but here is different. The costumes, the people, the accents is very different. It's very nice. I'm loving everything.
It's been great. The people are wonderful, and I want to come more times because everything here is beautiful, and it's been a great time. I'm loving it.
It's been an awesome experience. We've been, bringing out the students here so they can learn about your culture, and this exchange program has helped them improving their, their knowledge, a different culture. And also they learn about English, because in Brazil, English is our second language. And here they have the opportunity, to put it in practice.
Member institutions of the Associated Schools Project support international understanding, intercultural dialogue, and sustainable development. Reporting for the Department of Information, I am Davia Chambers.
And that's how we bring this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago to a close. I'm Colleen Holder. On behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, do join us for another edition. And as we go, here's another look at the newly elected members of the Tobago House of Assembly.